when is the best time to sell your business?
There's really two schools of thought when it comes to answering that question. One pathway is, yeah, there is a mathematical best time to sell your business, right? There's, based on your numbers, based on the valuation that you're ultimately looking to receive, there is a time to exit mathematically, which we'll talk about in a second. But the other school of thought is it's really about you and personally what's going on in your life when the best time to sell is. Are you under immense pressure? Are you dealing with a family issue? All of these things are potentially reasons to get out, because what some people don't necessarily realize is sometimes staying in and fighting the fight is not the best thing for you, not the best thing for your family, and not the best thing for your wallet either. So I don't know. What do you think, Chandler?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there's a best time to sell in the life cycle of your business, right? So your business is going to be doing one of three things always, regardless of whether you're intimately involved in your business or whether you have a manager in place. Your sales are either growing, plateauing, or going down, right? And just in 90% of the time, when a business reaches the point where your revenue is stagnant or it's holding, that doesn't stay very long, right? That it might be months, years. If you've got a great business, it might last 5, 6, it might even last a decade. But that's very rare. Oftentimes, you get to a certain point, you enjoy that for a couple of years, and then ultimately your sales start to go down, right? And then now you're kind of in different life cycles of your business. So ultimately, in the perfect place in that life cycle, you're going to try and sell right before you hit your peak. So you're going to be having year over year in growth. And ultimately, your revenue is going up, your cash flow is going up, you're properly staffed, you've got little to no debt, and you're going to get out right before the peak, so that someone else can enjoy that for a number of years. And then doesn't mean, like I've said, it's natural to have different points of a life cycle in your business. So just because business went from 11 million in revenue to 10 doesn't mean you've all of a sudden have a terrible business. It just means that you may never get to 15 million, and that's okay. But that's not when you want to sell your business. You want to sell your business when there's hope, opportunity, and possibility on the other side. If you go past that, then you've taken all the goodwill that you can get out of it, and ultimately you're going to lower your valuation. So that's one thought, like Joe mentioned, which is very where you are in the life cycle of your business. The other is it's a personal decision, right? Yeah. So selling your business and when you do that and how you do that and what you want to achieve out of it. I've worked with a number of clients that their main focus is, I want as much dollars in my pocket as soon as I sell this business, and that dictated when they were going to sell. The other piece is they didn't care too much. They had made so much money over the years that they just wanted a fair exit, and it was about timing. Chandler, I want to be done before season starts. I want to be done in the next 6 months. I want to be out in the next 90 days. And therefore, that time to sell was very different. So was their valuation, right? So there's definitely a correlation. If you're wanting to get out in 3 weeks and fire sell, you can't expect the same valuation as if we put some effort and some time into keeping it on the market and whatever. But in terms of a time to sell, yes, there's that magic peak right before the peak, and then there's based off of your life situation, what you're wanting to do, retire, find a different industry. Opportunity happens in a lot of different ways inside your business, and then inside a business opportunity you might find yourself in. So that all it's really about where you are in your life and what you're looking at.
For sure. And we see that a lot, right? I mean, the amount of people that I get calls from that say, Joe, I'm 62. My kids don't want the business. I am done. I want to be done. I want to go enjoy my life, right? There's so much of that. And some of these guys are like, when they're at the end of when they're kind of I don't want to say at the end of the rope, but when they're really feeling the pressure, it's not always the best thing to just keep going, because like you said, the life cycle of a business, if you're not able to give it your all anymore, and if you're not able to put the passion that you used to put into it, right, that's going to have an effect on your business. And at the end of the day, the likelihood is that things are not necessarily going to get better at that point, right? And that's really, when you're on a downturn, that's not the place that you want to be selling your business. So the personal and the life cycle side of things, they really do kind of interconnect, right? It depends on so many different variables, but it has to be right for you. And at the end of the day, when it comes to accepting evaluation and ultimately going to listing, you have to feel good about the numbers that are being talked about. And if you don't, we're going to tell you exactly what needs to happen. We had we had a listing where, we gave them a valuation and they said, hey, we're really looking for X. We said, well, listen, if you want X, here are the things that you need to do, right? You need to take more time. Like, you're not ready right now to sell for this number. And if you're not going to be able to accept that, then we're not going to waste our time promoting your business, right? And so at the end of the day, you have to be honest with yourself about what you're willing to accept for the sale of your business.
Absolutely. And I think the last thought really is this, is we didn't really mention this, and that's kind of outside forces. So when you're looking at what time to sell, and what I mean by that is that a lot of business owners, they get in the nitty gritty of their business and they focus on day-to-day operations, and they don't always see their business as an investment. And investments can go up and down in value. And sometimes by no fault of their own, right? Depending on where we are with the economy, where we are with an election cycle. So there's different outside forces on what's going around in the world that might also affect your valuation. There are times when, let's say you own a home service business where you're going to get a better valuation just by the nature of the economy. So you need some forethought and to be thinking about where that point in time might be and how that correlates to your peak or not. Because you may end up getting a higher multiple and a better price right before your peak if the conditions in the outside market are well. Likewise, maybe you're a little bit past your peak and then the economy goes on a downturn, you might get a much worse valuation than if you kind of ride it out for a couple more years. So outside forces are important as well, and a correlation to where your where the business life cycle is.